deck profile here for Phantasm Spiral. Yes, this is a very funny deck really. It's something that I just play casually with my friends. They do actually get quite sick of this, but overall it is definitely fun for the person who's actually playing it. So here is my particular take on it, so yeah, let's get started. To begin, we're playing 2 copies of Phantasm Spiral Dragon himself, obviously the main card. I really wish I could play 3, but I felt that he was just a bit cloggy, so 2 definitely is enough for you to actually get the job done, and we definitely have to play it. I've seen plenty of decks that don't bother playing him at all. I totally understand why you guys want a more competitive feel to it, and you're trying to actually take this very seriously. Personally, for me, I'm okay with that. I'm just happy playing this. Simply because I just truly believe that this is a really fun deck to play as is. We're playing 3 copies here of Megalo Smasher X. Again, one of your best vanillas for this, just a 2k beat stick will definitely do the job. I am only playing 2 copies of Sabersaurus here. You could also take out Sabersaurus and play Carbuzals as well, which is also a water dinosaur monster. So if you actually want that as an option, then feel free to actually play that. It's far better than Sabersaurus. But for Sabersaurus, again, another normal monster and another beat stick. So definitely works really well here. To finish things off with monsters, we're playing 2 copies of Gameciel, just to get rid of these pesky monsters your opponent controls, and you're giving them Gameciel, which is 2200, always ensuring that you always have enough to actually get over them, because we are playing the equip spell that actually allows your monsters to gain at least 500 attack, meaning Megalo Smasher and Sabersaurus, even your tokens, can easily just get over Gameciel, so definitely very nice there. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the monster lineup. So let's move on to spells. Okay, so on to spells. The most important card is 3 copies of Pacifius, the Phantasm City. Very important card for the deck itself. You basically just can't normal summon or special summon effects monsters the turn you activate either of this card's effects, even if it leaves the field. So for those of you who actually don't know the effects, once per turn, if you normal or special summon exactly 1 normal monster and no other cards, you can add a Phantasm Spiral card from your deck to your hand, any one, which is just really amazing. That's all the equip spells, that's all the trap cards, just a really good card to start you off with. And if your opponent activates a card or effect, except during damage step of course, while you control no tokens, you could also special summon a Phantasm Spiral token with pretty much 2000 attack and defense. So really great there. Obviously, during your opponent's turn when they do something, then you summon out a token, and because you summoned exactly one normal monster, then you pretty much get to add. So it works really well. Definitely playing 3 of it. I wouldn't say you necessarily need to play Terraforming. If you want to, you could. But overall, I think playing 3 of this is definitely just good enough. Your opponent will definitely be trying to destroy it a lot of times here. We're also playing 2 copies here of Phantasm Spiral Crash. We're playing 2 copies of Spiral Wave, and we're playing 2 copies of Spiral Grip. So we're basically playing 2 copies of each one. This one basically allows you to inflict piercing damage, and when it does deal damage, you could special summon out, obviously, this. For Spiral Wave, the first time the monster would be destroyed, it isn't. And also at the end of the battle phase, if that monster battled, then I could summon this. Whereas for Spiral Grip, you give the monster you're equipping to 500 attack, and also if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, then again you summon this. So all of them can bring out this either from the deck, graveyard, or hand. So definitely really great utility here. And I think I'm just playing 2 of them. A lot of people are actually just playing with fewer ratios than what I'm actually playing here, which is quite surprising. I don't particularly know which ones everyone's actually going with, but I play 2 of each, and it's been working really amazingly for me. Of course, it's easy for your opponent to stop you simply just by destroying your equip spells. As a result, you want to respond to them first. Whatever back row they set, we're going to be using Cosmic Cyclone to basically deal with them. We could definitely pay the cost for that. No big deal. We could get rid of lots of field spells, like Meltdown has been quite an annoying one I've been going up against Meg Knights, so with 3 Cosmic Cyclone, definitely helps out with the deck as well. So yeah, definitely quite nice there. And we're also playing 3 copies of Called by the Grave. Again, we don't want our opponents actually trying to stop us in any way whatsoever. Especially Ghost Ogre can easily get rid of Pacifis. As a result, I really emphasize on you actually playing 3 copies of Called by the Grave. It will really help you out. We'll also be playing 2 copies of Unexpected Die. You could play 3 copies of it if you want, just adjust the ratios of each of these equipped spells. But Unexpected Die basically summons out either your Megalo Smasher or your Sabersaurus, and it just gets you started if you don't have anything. So it technically counts as another monster in your deck. Speaking of actually starting you off, we also have 2 copies of Painful Decision. Definitely a really great card just to get some cards to the graveyard, but again, to start you off by getting you at least one of the monsters in your hand. You don't want to be drawing into the monsters, too many of them, because they do end up bricking, so we are playing a lot of spells here. But with Painful Decision, at least it will accelerate you getting your monsters. So technically, they are both meant to be substitutes to get your monsters faster without having to play more monsters. Then, of course, we're playing 1 copy of Scapegoat. Again, it's just another option for normal monsters, but again, technically it's a 1-card Link 4, which I just think is really amazing. So playing the 1 Scapegoat because that's a really good card. And to end things off with spells, we're playing 1 copy of Monster Reborn, simply just special summoning out the Spiral Dragon from the grave will already do such an amazing job. And even if you don't have this in a grave and you have like Megalo Smasher or Sabersaurus, it will still trigger off Pacifis, which is just going to help you out so much. So Monster Reborn, really nice card to actually add in. But that's pretty much it for the spells, so let's move on to the traps. Alright, so onto the traps. The 3 big staples here. Spiral Battle. Phantasm Spiral Battle was just really amazing. Essentially, if you control no monster, if you control a normal monster at least, you could basically just destroy a card your opponent controls. And if Umi is on the field, which your Phantasm Spiral field spell, it does count as Umi on the field, so you could also activate this from the hand if you have the field spell. So definitely a really amazing card. Just searchable right off the bat, so again, 3 copies of it. I do not suggest you play any less than that. Same thing applies for 3 copies of Spiral Power. Basically just the same conditions as Spiral Battle, but in this particular case it takes away 1000 defense, attack and defense from your opponent's monsters, and it also negates that monster's effects until the end of this turn. So really amazing card. Again, if Umi is on the field, in which case our field spell is counted as it, you could also activate it from the hand. So really amazing. Another interesting thing about these 2 is that they do also have graveyard effects as well, allowing you to manipulate the equipping of different monsters. So since they're trap cards, you could also activate them during your opponent's attack, which is definitely very nice. You could definitely do quite a bit of tricky things with these particular trap cards. So playing 3 of each, really amazing. The last Phantasm Spiral trap card I'm actually not playing, simply because yes, it's a cool win condition, but to actually pull it off is pretty insane and pretty difficult, so I don't really bother playing with it. And then to end things off, we're playing 2 copies of Strike, one Warning and 1 Judgment. Basically just the Solemn Brigade. They definitely just do the job in stopping our opponents from doing things. And yeah, I think that's pretty much where it comes from. Your entire trap lineup will really bother your opponents quite a bit. So yeah, definitely does the job there, but that's pretty much it for the main deck, so let's move on to the extra deck. Alright, so onto the extra deck. It's very interesting because obviously this is a normal monster deck. Technically, you don't need to go into an extra deck, which does actually open up the option for you to try to incorporate cards like Pot of Extravagance, if you wish, but either way, you could work with one or you could work without one. It doesn't really matter. I do play one. So I'm playing Dingirsu. 2 copies of the Spiral Dragon is a level 8, so it could easily just go for your Dingirsu, definitely just another option. Any other rank 8s is also viable options too. playing the Yugioh, playing the dog card. We have our 2 dinosaurs, a Sabersaurus, Megalo Smasher. Easily just goes into any of these as well, just to give you a good setup. Again, another Solemn, and a Monster Negate. Time Thief Redoer, more chances for you to just go for rank 4, so you could actually add in like a toolbox if you wanted to. Akashic Magician to bounce back your opponent's monsters, Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix. Like I said, a lot of utility that you could just add in. Nightmare Griffin and Underclock Taker are just examples of cards that you could definitely play in this particular deck here. Actually, Underclock Taker is quite a good card because your monsters have like 2k attack, 1900 attack, 2900 attack. It works really well with Underclock Taker and reducing your opponent's monster's attack, so quite nice there. But the extra deck's completely up to you. You can play whatever you want. One thing I would like to end off with this particular deck profile is I did not play Heatwave. You guys know that Spirals actually do play Heatwave, and for me, I just found that I didn't want to just go full out and just lock my opponents from being able to do anything. I wanted to actually be able to have a bit of fun as well, give them a bit of a chance to, you know, enjoy themselves while playing against this deck. So I decided to not actually incorporate Heatwave into this deck profile. But if you do want to, feel free to put it in. There's no problem with that at all if that's something you would prefer, but yeah, it's just something I didn't want to play. Not to mention it was also very hard to actually find the card itself as well, and it's a little bit pricey. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. So I hope you guys enjoy this. If you like it, definitely share this video, but in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.